Alright, what is up YouTube? So, I'm going to be doing a part 2 to my ban list prediction video that I made about a week ago. And a lot of people were confused on the picks that I put in the video. And I just want to clear up a lot of things that I said in that video. So, before I even get to any of the specifics, I want to talk about how I actually made this list. Now, usually, I would just go off what I think should be hit and then try to mix it up with how Konami really puts their ban list together. And what I did with this list is that I tried to look at it from Konami's perspective and try to hit it as they would do it. So, with something like Rongomidian is not a deck that is very strong in the meta. It's had little amounts of tops compared to how many people thought this deck was going to be, 10, 15 tops at most, and it just flopped. So, if we see Danger FTK before it got hit, it was one of the top decks in the game. It was a very big problem in the game. And I want to compare it to Rongomidian because it was kind of like that, but Rongomidian flopped faster than expected. And with the Danger FTK, yes, it was a very strong deck at the beginning of the time that it was, legal. It got weaker and weaker because a lot of people were prepared for this card, and that's what I want to get to in this video. Rongomidian is not doing good, not only because it's weaker because of the hits like Malicious and Armageddonite to 1 or 2 with Malicious, but the deck is just prepared for heavily. People are siding in Lancia, they're main decking a lot of hand traps. People are just expecting this deck to be a thing, and that is where this deck is just not shining because everybody's siding, everybody's preparing for this deck. People think that this is a problem, especially in the beginning of the format. People thought that this was going to be a big problem, bigger than it was before, and that is why this deck is not doing as well. And even though it's not doing as well, I still stand by me wanting to ban this, or Konami per se wants to ban this, because even though it's not that consistent right now and people are preparing for it now, it's going to get stronger with combo cards like Needle Fiber, the Jasmine Link, etc., etc. All of these different combo cards that we don't have, or with the danger cards that are not revealed yet in Savage Strike or Dark Neostorm. We just don't know what these cards are, and we don't know when we're going to get all of these combo cards, and it's going to make the Rongomidian deck stronger and stronger. Combo decks are going to get stronger and stronger as they keep on bringing these like splashable engines, and that's what I wanted to get with this kind of deck. I wanted to hit the deck to where you cannot do some really stupid play, some cheese play like Rongomidian or Gumblar for 6, or etc., etc. And that's what I wanted to get in that video. I didn't say that Rongomidian was the best deck in the game. I actually think Sky Striker is the best deck. That is why I hit that deck very hard with a lot of the cards. I know someone said in the comments that I hit the Rongomidian deck too much and I didn't hit Sky Strikers because they were the best deck. I still think they were the best deck. Even when the Danger FTK was a thing, Sky Strikers won that event. I'm not saying that Rongomidian is the end-all be-all, it's the best deck of the game. I wasn't saying that in that video. I was saying that Rongomidian is a problem. It's not a healthy card. Something that stops your opponent from playing entirely is just not good in the game. Gumblar that stops your opponent from playing entirely is not good for the game. And even though it's not topping that much, people are going to start siding off, or the ban list is going to hit all of these other decks that are doing strong in the meta, and then the Rongomidian deck is going to get more combo pieces, and yeah, it's going to get stronger as they hit the problem cards and not the other problems, that is like Rongomidian, Gumblar, etc. And that is what I wanted to get with that. I didn't want they don't want these cheese plays like this. They don't want extra link like the Goki deck. They destroyed the Goki deck. They hit Firewall, they hit Malicious, they hit Armageddonite. They don't want these extra link, can be targeted, can be destroyed by battle, can be destroyed by card effect. They don't want that in their game. They don't want Gumblar for 6. They already hit the wind-up loop before. They have the XYZ wind-up card ban. That is why they don't want Gumblar in the game as well. It's the same exact thing. Discarding your opponent for 6 is not healthy for the game, as well as Rongo Midian. And that's what I wanted to say. I didn't say this card was broken. I said it's not healthy for the game. And Konami is going to see it as that. They don't want these cards to be in the game. So they have to hit it eventually. So I'm not saying particularly this list. It's going to eventually happen. And that is what I wanted to get with this list. Summon Sork as well. It's a problem. It's been a problem. Like Gumblar. It's been a problem. Like Assault. It's been a problem. And they're going to eventually hit it. Something like SARYUJA. SARYUJA is not a problem now. Just like the Phantom Knight, I would say the Phantom Knight Link, it's not really a problem. And the Skull Dread is not really a problem. But who's making 3 SARYUJAs? It's some really niche FTK or some really combo heavy deck that just makes some ridiculous board. Like the Danger FTK, the Slash Draw FTK. You're making 3 Skull Dreads, and it's not healthy. You're drawing like, I don't know, 12 cards. No one's realistically playing 3 Skull Dreads. That's why I predicted that this would get hit. They don't want there to be FTKs like this in the game. And that's why I predicted for SARYUJA to be hit, because it's just a card that's not healthy at 3. At 1, it's fine. Drawing 4, putting 3 back, yes. But something like Electromite. Electromite is a perfect example. It was not a problem. It was not a problem. But if they were going to hit these other decks, they had to hit Electromite to 1. Because Electromite summoning 3 is not healthy. Just like Skull Dread. It's not healthy. And that's the whole point of this video. Now, something like Brilliant Fusion. I want to talk about Brilliant Fusion because it was a discussion years ago when this was first a problem with the Trick Clown engine, Brilliant Fusion, you know, Shaddolls and stuff like that. Brilliant Fusion was brought up with like extra deck Monarchs when they were summoning Brilliant Fusion or Seraphinite and using Brilliant Fusion to summon the Seraphinite. It was brought up multiple times. Seraphinite was brought up multiple times. And why I brought up Brilliant Fusion is because, first of all, they cannot hit well, in my mind, Konami cannot hit the Thunder Dragon archetype. They just reprinted it in the OTS. They just released it in October. And then it directly hits the Gem Knight FTK. The Gem Knight FTK, it should not be in the game. I don't know why they dodged the Lapis Lazuli. I think they just want this to be in the game, but just not consistent. And that is why I put Brilliant Fusion on the list. It's perfect. Because you're hitting 2 decks that are a problem. Gem Knights might be smaller, but it's still a problem. It's still an FPK. It's still topping. It's not topping as consistent as the other decks, like Sky Strikers, Altergeist, Thunder Dragons, etc. But you're hitting a card that is used in the meta deck, and it's also hitting a degenerate combo deck. So that is why I said Brilliant Fusion. I mean, yes, I would want Lapis Lazuli to be banned. It should have been banned a while ago. That wouldn't be a problem. You wouldn't have to hit Brilliant Fusion. But since they don't want to ban Lapis Lazuli however, they can hit the consistency, which is Brilliant Fusion. It also hits the Predaplant decks. That is going to be a problem with Jasmine. Jasmine is coming out in April. They don't want the Predaplant engine to be splashable in like a bunch of different decks, and then they have to hit like the Predaplant engine. They can just hit Brilliant Fusion. That's a core centerpiece of the Brilliant Fusion combo, and the Brilliant Fusion engine is the Predaplants. And once Jasmine comes in the game, Brilliant Fusion is going to be used a lot more. So Brilliant Fusion not only hits the Thunder Dragon archetype, it hits Gem Knights, it hits the Plant deck, it hits a lot of other things, just a lot of other problematic cards. And that is why I put Brilliant Fusion on there. Even though it's not on a lot of people's radar, it's not broken now. It's not as broken as a lot of these cards like Gumblar, Summon Sword, etc. But it can possibly become a problem. Just like SARYUJA. It's not a problem now, but summoning 3 is not healthy. Just like Electromite. Having 3 Electromites is not healthy for the game. Just like a lot of other cards that were hit to 1 that people were summoning at 3. Trishula. People were summoning 3 Trishulas. People were summoning 3 Omegas. It's not healthy for the game to make 3 of these. So that is why I said SARYUJA should be hit. If that doesn't make sense to you, I don't know how else to put it to you. Now, another card I want to talk about is the Beginning of the End. The Beginning of the End is another card that they have to hit because they cannot hit the dangers. They have dangers coming out in Savage Strike and Dark Neostorm. They cannot hit the dangers because it's too new. Unless it was like broken, there's some stupid loop combo like they did with like Gishkis back in like 2012 or something like that. This is not healthy for the game. The Beginning of the End is a broken card. But the one I want to talk about in this video is Allure. Allure is a card that you can play in dangers that just boosts the consistency. It allows these FTKs and just drawing your whole deck is just ridiculous. The dangers in general are broken. They should be hit instead. But since Konami is coming out with these new cards that support these archetypes that are relatively new, they cannot hit it. That's why I suggested to hit these indirect hits, like the Beginning of the End, Allure, SARYUJA, etc. That's why I said it. That is why I said they need to hit these cards indirectly, or they need to hit these cards that are not problematic now, but are going to be problematic later. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the PK engine. I know a lot of people didn't talk about the PK engine. They didn't really have a problem. I think the PK engine is just going to be one of those other engines, just like the Sky Striker engine. There's multiple other engines that were hit in the past, like the Zodiac engine. That's not really an engine, but you ran it as an engine. They had to hit that deck, so it couldn't be run as an engine. Just like the Kaiju engine, just like any other engine they hit in the past, Rusty is going to be used in every single dark deck. Now, the last 2 things I want to talk about is first of all, Droll and Soul Charge. Now, I brought up Droll and Soul Charge as my opinions. These were my opinions. The rest were kind of like, Konami needs to hit this, and they're going to eventually hit them. With this Droll, I just think Droll shouldn't be in the game. Soul Charge shouldn't be in the game. It's just like VANITY'S Emptiness. It's just like Max C. Max C can compare to Droll because it stops you from doing anything. Unless you want to take the Max C challenge. I guess that it gives you a choice. Max C gives you a choice. But Droll, it just like stops you entirely. Even if you're not even doing a broken combo, like you're just summoning a bunch of monsters and adding a bunch of cards. Droll just immediately stops you. And it just enables this Droll reincarnation. If they're not going to hit reincarnation, Droll needs to be hit. Something needs to be hit with that combo. And something like Soul Charge shouldn't be in the game. That card should have been banned a long time ago. Just like VANITY'S Emptiness, just like a lot of other cards that they waited to hit so long, like Firewall, they took so long to hit that card, and it was a problem for a whole, like, what, year? And then they hit it. It's kind of like back and forth with Konami. They want to hit something, and then they don't want to hit something. Like, it's just like, you try to predict, like Konami, but then they do these weird hits, like KAISER COLOSSEUM ban. Who thought KAISER COLOSSEUM was a problem or should have been banned? At the time, it was banned. I still think, you know, KAISER COLOSSEUM now would probably be ridiculous. But the last thing I want to talk about in this video is the Altergeist deck. Now, Altergeist did one YC Sydney, and it showed a big representation compared to the previous events that it did. I still don't think Altergeist shouldn't be, it should not be hit at all. Altergeist are not really a problem at the moment. Yes, it's going to get better when they hit these other decks, but they really didn't have any time to shine. It's just like, why hit a deck when it hasn't shined? Like something like Rongo Midian, the Dark Warrior deck already shined. It had Firewall. And now it's back again, reincarnated into this Gumblar for 6 Rongo Turbo deck. Yes, it's not a problem now, but Altergeist were never a problem. The Rongominion deck was a problem, and now it's reincarnated. Altergeists were really never a problem. So that's my main focus. That's what I wanted to clear up in this video. So hopefully you guys are cleared up on this whole situation. I know my ban list was really crazy. I tried to look at it from Konami's perspective and how they should hit it more than me, besides the two other cards like Draw and Soul Charge that I suggested at the end of the video, and saying that Altergeist shouldn't be hitting at the end of the video. And I tried to just put it in Konami's perspective. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I am out.